It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to Good Smoke. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Eddie on the mic and I got my guest host in today. What's up, Dean?
Hey guys, how you doing?
And also, let's check out radioskidrow.org, goodsmoke.com.au, and all the rest of that stuff. We started about 7 minutes late. We just had the intro song, so we want to get straight into it, jam-pack it in with some information. If you don't already know, I have the man himself, the one and only Romeo Georges. What's up, Romeo?
Hey guys, how you going?
See the crowd? We've got more audience today, so...
Well, I hope so. Or I've just wasted, 6 months of my life, but,
Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. It's the holiday season and it's the 24th of December. We've made it through 2019 almost.
Yeah, well, I'm still alive. So.
And you're still here, man. So I really appreciate you coming in again today. We're having a part two because part one was more about, who Romeo is, what he goes through, his family, and just the foundations of his life. We got to know who he is and why he does what he does. But now we want to get into info about, more into the details, the nitty gritty stuff. And Romeo came in today and he just, 2 days ago, you just came down from Bargo and you went to Fezzel's Nest and a few places down there. So let's start off with that, man.
Didn't you get back from Hawaii with that shirt on, Romeo?
No, I actually,
that's right.
I actually couldn't afford to go to Hawaii, but so I went to Burwood and bought a Hawaii shirt.
It looks good, man. It looks good. So
later on, I'm joining the Congo line.
Let's get into it, man. Unfortunately, we had our Prime Minister say his little speech a few days back. But before we get into the heater stuff, the more juicy stuff, let's go what you did a few days back, man. You wake up in the morning and you had a revelation, man. What happened?
Nah, it's I didn't do anything, first and foremost. I'm a little bit, like my wife tells me sometimes, you're a spastic. That's all right. Friday night I was at home with friends over and they left about midnight and I just said I'll go fill up some diesel in my ute and I pulled up at the servo and saw these cheap bottles of water. So I walked in, I said, give me $200 worth. I was going to drive down that night, but my wife talked some common sense into me. She goes, where are you going? I said, she goes, just sleep. So I woke up at 6 a.m, did a quick post and jumped into the ute and took off. And just before I got onto the M5, I got a message from a gentleman called Hassan.
Shout out
Top
to Hassan.
bloke. Yeah, thanks,
man.
bro. I haven't forgot you.
Yeah,
You're an absolute legend.
Awesome guy, man. God bless your family.
Yeah, so basically he said, what are you doing? Where are you going? I said, that's what I'm doing. I'm going down to drop off $200 worth of water. He goes, I'm coming too. So I met him at the local petrol station where I filled up from. And we loaded up, I think he loaded up 50. And we followed each other down there. Had no idea where we were going. But that's the story of my life. I've never had an idea where I'm going in my life. And it worked out for the best. Met a lovely lady called Paula from the communal pantry. It's like a shop down there and you can go in and, get what you need. It's the community supplies it, donations and stuff like that. Wonderful woman. And guess what? She's a vegetarian and she's just wonderful.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I couldn't believe it.
Did it shock you?
Well, she said to me, I don't eat meat. But she had bacon and eggs in the back of the ute.
So
in the back of the van.
She handles it, just doesn't eat it.
I said, I like this woman.
Oh, nice. So she doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, she's independent. She's free-willing. She doesn't listen to the media and these freaking idiots that, super glue themselves to the floor.
So what's it called, that thing? Is it called
Communal
the food
Pantry down in Bargo, 222 Great Southern Drive in Bargo.
So you can go down there, drive and drop some supplies?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about that so we can get people informed if you want.
They're after blankets now, pillows.
Yeah.
If anybody, I'm organising that. I've made a few phone calls, but we need a lot. I saw with my own eyes, they're exhausted, man. These fireys, they come back to doing shifts. It's the front line. I'm grateful that that they're coming back. It broke my heart. What made me go down there is we all go to work, and we're grateful to come home to our families every day. 2 men never came home.
Yeah, that was Jeffrey Keaton and Andrew O'Dwyer.
Yeah,
and they were 32 and 36. I'm 33, so I'm just starting off my life pretty much. But it's devastating they didn't get to go back to their families. They have children as well.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into the political part of it, but let's just talk about humanity-wise. They're not coming home.
Exactly.
They'll never hold their kids. never hugged their wives. That's it. For what? For their family. They were fighting for their family. They never came home. And that tore me apart, you know. And that's why I did what I did. And I met Paula, and I'm going to continue to help Paula. Now we're after pillows and blankets.
Do they still need eye drops and baby wipes?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And if you can get it down to the communal pantry, 222 Great Southern Drive in Bargo, please do.
Can you explain to us, or explain to the people what's the baby wipes for and the eye drops?
Well, we're in a level 2 water, aren't we? Isn't it? Yeah. Well,
Water
they're not going to go home and have a shower. They come back and there's soot in their eyes. They're pitch black. They're bloody charcoal, you know, and they got to wipe their face and clear out the garbage that's in their eyes and in their nose and in their ears. And baby wipes is, you know,
Best solution.
yeah.
If people didn't catch that, they're actually using baby wipes because they can't use the water because there's water restrictions. So it's not just the fire.
Even the eye drops,
Yeah.
you know, clearing out the gunk that's in your eyes.
And just add to that, just let everybody know what's the living conditions like that for them, for the fighters, for the volunteer firefighters, for the people that live around there.
They're fighters. It's pretty bad. I mean, my phone camera, mind you, guys, stop believing about these, you know, I've got the Butte camera. They're all rubbish. They couldn't actually show you. I was so upset because I couldn't show you exactly the thickness of the smoke.
You could see it in the sky like it was
Yeah.
white, or like all like grey white,
Yeah.
like all over the place. But when you were driving, it looked pretty clear.
Yeah, but the truth was I couldn't get to full speed. I wanted to go like a bat out of hell, but I couldn't because the visibility was so bad, yet the phone didn't portray that. And the people down there are scared. Of course, they're going to lose everything. And I was told one of the volunteers that I met down there lost his home while he was helping other people. Right? I spoke to one of the fireys because I rocked up to Picton RFS, Fire and Rescue, and they just jumped. The sirens went off and they took off like crazy. And I was just able,
Yeah.
And I stayed back with Chris, and he let me into the command center in that unit with all the computers, and he showed me the fires. It's war. It resembled like, you know, you've got two oppositions. The fire is one army, and the fireys are the other, and it's spread like it's World War One. It's just trenches, you know. It doesn't stop. And the biggest issue, and I must bring this up, is the fact that we have fire tracks. We have fire trails. But these imbeciles that think they know how to run a country, right? Well, they're not running the country, but they've infiltrated the local councils. Stop the cleaning up of the fire trails. They're using bulldozers while the fire brigade, like the truck, is walking behind driving behind a bulldozer. By the time they get to a fire, it's gone from a scrub fire to an inferno.
Because there's not.
I mean, fire trails were designed to get the fires. Why would you stop people from maintaining these fire trails?
What's their wisdom behind it? What are they saying?
I don't know. You must go down to Surrey Hills because I guarantee you not one single greenie lives in the bush.
Yeah, that does not make sense.
So we'll go down to Surrey Hills, the barefoot pricks walking around. I'm getting revved up now.
Yeah, this is just the government that's reactive, not proactive. We've been having bushfires for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So every year.
And the Aboriginal culture know how to do it.
I was told down there by a lovely lady called Debbie, right, of Aboriginal heritage, that the Indigenous people that work in the back, they were fired down there. They lost their jobs. 6 people lost their jobs. Okay? 6 people who come from who ancestors have controlled this land.
It's in their blood. It's in their DNA. Yeah.
It's passed down from
how they lose their job? What was the
the maintaining of the fire trails.
Yeah. How'd they lose it? Did they give you
give it up?
Look, they just got rid of them.
That's the thing with these guys.
You don't know.
They do what they want. They give you no reason. And enough's enough. You're not doing anything until you give me a legitimate reason. Okay? So that's basically down there. The conditions down there are horrifying.
But you should never get to that. You know,
Never.
We every year we know that there's in some way or form, there's going to be a bushfire at this time of year, this season, all the
It's
time.
historic, yeah.
So there should be measures put into place. There should be something put into place to deal with this, and not just react when it happens.
Well, we had.
The back burning was one of them.
We had measures. We had a government that didn't bow down to the minority parties.
That's when you posted about Howard. He had a plan to have reserved 3 to 5 years worth of water in the.
Now, from the information that I gather, because I guarantee you, there's a lot more people that know a lot more than I do. But from the information that I have gathered, the Murray Basin plan was designed to store water. It was John Howard's baby, and it was a beautiful plan. But under the Constitution, which is illegal, what they have done is changed that and gone environmental flows. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but fuck the environmental flows. It's all fine and good when everybody's got water. Look after the environment. We are one with the environment. But when our life is in danger, I don't really give a shit if the prawns don't live. And the yabbies, I don't care. What I do care about is the farmer not killing himself because he's lost everything. And we're not talking about losing $50,000 here. We're talking about losing millions of dollars. Why? So the banks can get it back, so we can follow this United Nations agenda about climate control. Shove it up your ass.
Yeah, because there's a sinister thing behind it, and you got a bit deeper in it when you talked about Olam International, OLAM, and these are the guys that are international brand, international company in all over the world that go into. They got sold the rights to the water rights.
Yep.
What was it? 1 in every 10 get sold to foreign.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
and I like how they say 1 in every 10.
Okay, can you explain that in detail so let the people know what that's about?
Okay. Olam basically had the rights. They bought the rights, right? They had it. Now Canada's come along with their almond fields, and they need water. Now it's a trust fund, the Canadian pension trust fund that has purchased these almond fields. And good on the Canadians. They're creating revenue to invest back into their own country. What's killing me is our country, these leaders, they're dopes. Or they're lining their pockets. Right? And that's illegal.
Treason.
Absolutely. Right? So then the Canadian pension fund need water. So they bought for $490 million the right of almond, right, to water their almond farms.
If you go look up almond.com and it's all there. It looks all shiny and beautiful and everyone getting along. But I
don't blame the Canadians.
Yeah.
Okay, why can't we go overseas and buy land for the Australian people? Because we don't need to. We are the food bowl of the world. But no. I'm not going to mention any names. Everybody knows what I represent. But we have politicians now that are more concerned about if their tie is straight around their neck than if they're doing straight by the Australian people. They're so self-obsessed, especially... I love his name, Little Proud. What's seriously? I change your name, mate. Change it because you actually represent what the political organisation in Australia feels about. We have very little to be proud about. It's a disgrace. We should be feeding the world. We've only got 26 million people in Australia, but we have a nation I think is just a little bit smaller than America. I think it's 7,982,000 square kilometres.
And the middle's all desert.
Even the middle, America in the middle's all desert.
Yeah. They work it out.
We have beautiful agricultural land. We have people that have worked the land, like last time I told you, for 180 years. Exactly. We have experienced knowledge. Okay? Now we're thinking that some guy in an office on the 150 level of a building wearing a suit and tie knows how to grow food, knows how to take care of cattle.
And even giving back some of the land to Aboriginals where they can go back to their old farming ways. They didn't farm like the traditional farmers do of this land, but they knew how to work the land, feed off the land, you know what I mean? If you give that incentive.
They use the environment.
Exactly.
right?
Why are we
And
going
even
against
companies,
nature? Yeah.
Companies that come here use the Aboriginal knowledge.
Yeah.
Cabby.
That's right.
Cabby,
Exactly. Yeah.
the guy that designed Cabby, he used Aboriginals to get the maximum water flow.
It's logic. It's logic, Romeo.
Like you said, it's logic, and we don't do logic in Australia.
Yeah, we don't do
Or this government does anyway.
No. It's all about
we have to understand as a society that we live amongst the environment, amongst nature, and we have to create this harmonious
relationship.
Relationship. It's in some ways like a treaty, And first and foremost, like you say, is humans, and we have like environmental acts put in place to protect the koalas, to protect all habitats and ecosystems, And if we decide to build an urban city, we have to manage that.
That's right.
There has to be a way to manage that.
Can't get rid of nature.
Yeah, you can't get rid of nature, but we have to foresee and how we're going to live and grow as a city.
I'm all for developing a nation and respecting nature.
Exactly.
But the Greens are all for wanting us to run butt naked through the bush, no development, no moving forward, no future for it.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what it is also? They don't even deal with nature though. Like naturally we're supposed to do backburning and stuff. They don't even want to do that. They think we're destroying it. When fire itself is a natural resource itself.
I'd love the leader of the Greens party to be a horticulturist.
Exactly.
He's a surgeon.
That's right.
I don't understand how a surgeon can be leader of an environmental group.
Yeah.
What, because you read a few books?
Yeah.
That's right. You need experts in these positions. And
Go speak to any guy that knows how to cut a tree. He'll tell you.
That's right.
You do this way and do it this way.
That's right, yes.
I'm going to go get a surgeon, a doctor, to come and tell me, oh, no, you just can't cut it. Why can't I cut it? Just don't cut it.
You know what it is, but they have advisors. I want to try to play
advisor,
I want to try to play in the middle here because they have advisor, right? Yeah. And that's the way to go. But are you listening to the advisors? And are the advisors paid, or are they in your pocket too, so you can say what you want to get the maximum profit of what you want?
Eddie, there's only one person not getting paid that's trying to change this Australia that I love, and that's me. Every single person that gets up there on TV is getting their line. I'm the only one. That's the truth. I do it out because of my love for the Australian people. Right? I never did it. I was just a larrikin. But I realised I've got a voice. Now, if the government, they've been successful for a while to change us, to turn us into zombies with no feeling, no passion. This is what we want? Yeah. Oh, okay, you can do it. This is what's going to happen? Okay. No. We change them. They answer to us. And I've realised a lot of people are waking up.
I've been going through your posts as I was saying, and one of the things that you did was go back in history, even as far as back as the 1800s.
110 years.
Yeah, and you were checking the weather and how it's gone up and down.
Nothing's changed.
And it's pretty much the same.
Yes.
Pretty much the same.
Yes, it is.
And that's how Australia is. It has a cycle. It's different to other countries too, where we have really, really dry seasons, really hot seasons, then we go really cold seasons. Yep. And it's been going for hundreds of years. So what did you find out when you went through that? What did you...
I actually found the date. There was 2 dates back in... I can't remember exactly the dates, but it was the same date that they did the catastrophe. Yeah. You know, it's a catastrophe.
Yeah, just recently they said it was
every single channel, every single radio. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. There's no. They even lied. They said there was a fire in Menai. I was in Menai. There was no light. There was no fire. It was some kid started a fire at school, a little fire. Right, I saw the fire. It's
very misleading media.
Absolutely.
But it's all about education as well. Like backburning is beneficial. Yep. You know, when you backburn, encourages new growth and germination of other trees. So and it is essential, and that time of year is guaranteed to cause fire. There's, it's all dry, dry understory.
The Australian bush needs fire to live.
That's right.
But going back to the dates, it was actually the same date. It was actually the same temperature, 37 degrees. And if we look back, there was a period in time where it was actually like it nudged 50s, right? But the Australian people back then. Maybe the media wasn't that powerful, right? They weren't manipulated. This is Australia. People wrote songs about it. Great Southern Land.
Even the Egyptians said when they came here it was too dry to live, it's too hot to live. There's writings about when they came here. I don't know how true that is, but what I've researched in my time.
What gets under my skin is they use information to try and say that it's 50 degrees today. Yeah, it was 50 degrees in the outback, not in Sydney, not in Brisbane, not in Melbourne. But what temperatures do you expect to get in the desert?
Yeah.
I want to know: is there a task force that deals with this issue? If we get it every year, if we get this issue of bushfires every year, right? I think there should be a task force that deals with this every year, prepares the whole year. How are we going to deal with this?
There is.
Let's
you know
put
who it
measures
is?
into place.
The volunteers, and the volunteers don't get paid.
Yeah, but is there a, like to have other ministries like other?
No, but they use them. They use them.
My question is this: who is willing, other than myself, to now I found the button on Facebook. It's called the block button, so I don't need to retaliate anymore. I love that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too, man. Yeah.
I just press that freaking button, and that bloke just disappears. He's gone. But who is willing to stand up and say, we've done the studies in the last year. This is what we foresee, and it's all good. Straight away, you're labelled a denialist. You're denying. Because if it's not their way, you're a liar, but they're telling the truth.
Yeah, there's no room for argument.
Okay?
There's no room for
You can offer him a legitimate, scientifically proven piece of paper that says, fact that your information is wrong. You're a denialist. Why am I denying and you're not?
Yeah.
Because they're after lining their pockets.
That's right.
Common
It's as
consensus,
simple
yeah.
as that. Bullshit makes money.
That's right. That sells the TV, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I've got to go buy another TV because they advertised it as a bloody great TV and I believed them like a fucking idiot. It's shit.
No, it's just appalling.
It's the bells and whistles all around it to make it look like it's fancy. That's like that Ullman International. I went to look at it. I read up on their website, and they play on photos like families. They have photos of families and kids, and everything's really shiny, and they got paddocks worth of food and stuff like that. But in reality, it's not like that. It doesn't look like that. There's a different system here. There's a different way of weather that works here. So you know what I mean? It's just
look. It's a unique country. We have different.
It's the best country.
Yeah, and it's unique in its resources. It's unique in its beauty. It's unique in its way.
And it's
it works
economics.
naturally
Yeah, exactly.
in
The
its
ecosystem. Yeah.
You know what I want?
So we have to put measures into place to have that harmonious relationship with nature. We know, for how many years now do we know that we're going to get bushfires? 100% we're going to get bushfires. So the simple thing is, and logic tells you, that, okay, let's prepare and deal with it.
But you know what? One thing before we go to a break, they're not talking about that. I think it was that someone said it was 60 to 70% of these fires are done by people. They're not.
Who are these people?
Yeah, but isn't that a big thing? Like, why isn't that the main? Well. So why has it been climate change that's caused these? Some are caused naturally, but over half of 60% of it is done by arsonists.
But they call them arsons. Are these people who are concerned and doing their own backburning, or is it people who are trying to cause a crime?
It's never explained.
Yeah,
that's what.
But why isn't
explained.
that the main thing? That's the crime that we should be talking about.
Because I don't want to accuse anyone here, but who assassinated JFK?
I have a theory, but that theory will come after the break. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to play this one. It's called Jingle Bells, and because it's holiday season, I thought bring that spirit of Christmas back, because what we hear on the radio is all this BS. So this one's done by Bobby Helms. I don't know if you know this guy. But
please play Wham! Christmas.
Yeah, I will. I got that one lined up next.
God rest his soul, George. I love you.
It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. It's the Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9, and that version was by Michael Bublé.
Was it?
Yeah. Beautiful voice, huh?
Oh, I thought it was Bing Crosby.
It probably was the original, maybe.
No, I think the original was Perry Como, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Got our music genius in the corner here. So. Thanks, Dean. Welcome back to Radio Skid Row. This is the Good Smoke. Remember, radioskidrow.org. If you want to listen into a better reception of the normal radio, go to radioskidrow.org. Also, goodsmoke.com. Romeo's interview from 2 weeks ago is up there, so you can check that out. Let's get into it, man. I want to get into this well-put, very well-written speech that our beautiful Prime Minister...
Do you think so?
that our Prime Minister came back after he went on a beautiful trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
He went up on stage and said his apologies. To me, I was burning, to be honest, because I was like, I actually screamed in my room. I go, this guy is so disconnected to the people. Like, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
So I want to break it down with you, man. What was your thoughts about the whole thing around it?
Okay, firstly, I'd like to tell everybody that's not the first holiday he's had, so please stop with the bullshit. He took a holiday on the 29th of January. I was sent dates. He's had 3 holidays since the Hawaii holiday. Now, we're all entitled to holidays. Okay, I think as Australians now, we're just absolutely overworked. But to go there and just shut off and forget that you're a leader of a nation. And don't tell me you were getting updates. Updates are worth jack shit. It's as simple as that. Right? What's an update? Yeah, okay. You know, it picks up. Yeah, okay, that's great. You know, let me finish off my beer. You know, it's not.
What, a Facebook update or Instagram update?
I don't know.
Let me put it into perspective. Yeah. For me, this is how I saw it. I think it was the end of last year. He was made fun of because he put his hand up in the church because he was singing to God, or whatever. And he says he believes in Christianity, right? One of the major things that God did, Jesus Christ did, was wipe the feet of the disciples. And he said, to be a leader, you need to serve.
That's right.
And now, to all the other Christians out there that are trying to defend him and trying to say, oh, it's nothing, that's in our book. So don't come and try to profess something when you're not actually doing what you're saying you profess. All right, you said sorry, but the sorry was not at all,
Eddie, I'm a
from
Christian
the heart.
man.
Yeah,
I'm a Christian man, right? But I also have looked at other religions, and every single leader of a religion
does the same. Yeah,
has been, in order to serve his followers, whether you're Buddhist, Christian, Catholic, Protestant, Muslim, every single one has one way or another showed the humility towards his followers and has been a leader. So to me, it's not just about him being a Christian. He's a leader of a nation that just turned his back and went on a holiday. And he's saying, my little children, I've got to think about my family. Well, let me tell you a story, okay? I've never judged a man unless I've been in his shoes. And I know what he's going through. 2 years ago, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. So I put in leave with my company. And my business partner was covering for me. I left, took my family so my wife can spend time with her mother. And I think it was a week and a half into the leave, because we planned 4 weeks. I get a phone call saying that the driver cannot fill in for my business partner from the company that I get work off. So I sat with my wife. I said, I've been here for a week and a half, 2 weeks. You stay with your mother. Spend as much time with her as possible. I need to leave. Now, as I got into the car to leave that night, my mother-in-law was stage 4 towards the end. Well, it is the end. She got up and opened up the door of the car. I said, where are you going? She goes, you're my son. You have a family. I'm not letting you drive for 2 hours to the airport on your own. I'm going with you. Now, I argued with her to stay. She didn't listen. So she got in that car and drove for 2 hours to Beirut Airport. And the last person that I saw before I went to the waiting room was my mother-in-law waving goodbye. She died after I left. I came back, because I had to do what I had to do. My mate and business partner needed time with his family and his children. Now, I went there to say goodbye to my mother-in-law. I was fortunate enough to do so. And I came back, and he went to work. He took time off, and I filled in for him. That's what a leader does. He thinks about his mate. He thinks about his country, right? I didn't call my mate up and say, hey, bro, can you hold on a minute? Like, I'm really having a good time. I had a reason to stay. I was about to lose somebody who I loved, but I didn't. I put my business, I put my mate, I put that all before everything else. So please stop telling me that I had to think about my kids. I have kids too, mate. And I left them. I got a loving wife too. And I left them because I had to do what I had to do. So stop giving us these bullshit excuses. You went on a holiday, bad luck, it got cut short. You had to be here. 2 men died while you were in a Congo line and drinking, what are they called, mojitos?
Mojitos, yeah.
Or pina coladas, eh?
Right, and your missus, with all due respect, taking selfies. Leave them in Hawaii. Get your fat ass back here. That's where you're needed. That's what you're paid to do. Not sit in Hawaii and get updates while men fight for their lives and their homes and their families while you sunbake in the sun. It's ridiculous. It is absurd. It's disgraceful. He should step down. It's as simple as that. I have when I found about this and I passed judgment on myself, I did what you had to do. I did what, and do I regret doing it? Yes. But would I do it again? Fuck off. Absolutely. Because that's what being a leader is. That's what being a person that cares about other people do. I'll never see my mother-in-law again. A few months later, I lost my father-in-law and was able to go see him before. I wasn't able to go see him before he died because he died of a heart attack. All right? But if you're in a position where, okay, take a holiday, but you're needed at home, come home.
There's a time and place. There's a time and place for it, man.
No amount of excuses.
Exactly. Yeah.
That he stands there with that smirk upon his face.
That's what I couldn't understand when the reporter asked him, after he stopped his speech, the reporter asked him, do you apologize? He goes, I said it. Instead of just saying, yes, I'm deeply sorry, it's unfortunate, but he was like arrogant
He's
about...
not apologetic.
Isn't that, wasn't that arrogant? It was arrogant to think like, what the hell are you saying,
no,
bro?
no,
People are
no,
dead. People are dying, right? People are dead. Like, there's kids that died. These are children. It's 32 years old, 36 years old. They're starting their lives off. They just had their kids, you know what I mean? The guy is saying, oh, I said sorry. Like, he thinks that if you tick off the box, that everyone's satisfied. But people see through it. It's a devastating situation.
He needs to step down. So with Anastasia Palaszczuk, and she's on holidays.
I think even Gladys, man.
Yeah, even Gladys.
Yeah,
Gladys breaks my heart. I mentioned it before. Gladys comes from a background of people who have had genocide against them.
Exactly, Armenian actually, yeah.
Yeah, right? I have an Armenian neighbour who explained to me what happened to the Armenian people. You'd think she'd care more about life, preserving life. You'd think she'd be more family orientated.
Exactly.
What happens to these people?
The best example you gave, I reckon, which really hit the nail on the head, is even the captain on Titanic didn't jump off the boat.
Yeah, you have to go down with the ship.
That's it.
Isn't that what it
down
is?
with the
That's the
ship.
leadership, man. That's a real leadership to say, this is my ship. I'm the one that captain it. I'll go down with it.
Yeah.
Look, I honestly believe that they go mentally unstable due to basically they don't know how to do their job. Okay? I don't seriously think that the latest generation of politicians have entered politics for the good of the people. Right? And I don't care if I'm called racist or whatever. I only see Pauline Hanson, Rod Roberts, Malcolm Roberts, and what's his name? Latham. Mark Latham. They're actually proactive.
Can you tell us what they're saying? Because I don't. It's hard to find.
Basically, they're saying everything the government is doing is full of shit, and they're going to stop it. And they're
what's
against
their plans?
it.
What's their plans? What do they want to do?
Reinvest in agriculture.
Yeah.
Don't give the money overseas, right? But it's not beneficial to the government. So Pauline's made to be, she's made to look like a redhead bogan, right? Set up numerous times. She actually told me she entered politics. She thought politicians were good-hearted people. They're backstabbing mongrels, all in it for their own pockets. That's what happened to her, right? Now she's got decent advisors, men of family, of integrity, of an honour. I've met these advisors, right? They love Australia, right? And she's not, and they make her out like she's against Muslims and she's against ethnic. She isn't. She just wants the best of every single nation other than Australia that wants to people that want to come live here. Don't give us your rubbish.
It's all fluff, you know. It's just a detour.
Yeah.
The majority, you know, from what really is actually happening.
Yeah, like true. Let's talk about like you were talking about leadership. One guy that is actually down there that was an ex prime minister,
Tony Abbott. And I still have people on Facebook telling me he was a fuckwit. Whether he was a fuckwit or not, he's down there.
The people don't get it, man. Who
labelled him a fuckwit? What?
Man,
Carl Sanderson or someone like that?
I don't know.
What, on Facebook or
on
someone?
my Facebook page, and I look them up, and they're all tatted up, and you know they're kissing their dog. Fuck off,
but
man.
why is he a fuckwit? Where are they getting information
Because they got
from?
nothing else.
That's right.
No, like we said, we were driving here. They put themselves in a barrier of left wing and right wing.
That's right.
And I think that's the most dumbest thing to ever think. I believe that there's no more left wing, right wing. There's no more Liberal, Labor. It's all the same parties.
They're all in each other's
That's
pockets. That's
like,
why Tony Abbott was betrayed, because he wanted to stand up and do a Donald Trump. It's either my way. He did not want to spend $200 million on asking us whether we, you know, a man can marry a man and a woman can marry a woman.
Yeah.
He has a lesbian sister.
Yeah, but
and because he said that and had that view, automatically he's a homophobic.
Yeah.
You know?
Why?
Because really, all he's talking about, there are bigger issues.
Why didn't you take us to the polls on deciding whether you want to sell our water or not?
Or to stop backburning.
Because quite frankly, I don't care if a man wants to marry a man or a woman. It's none of my goddamn business.
Exactly.
But even now, there's an issue. Like a friend of ours named Cherie Toker. She ran a campaign for the last 3 years and getting signatures about flying the Aboriginal flag on the Harbour Bridge all year round.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's currently 15 to 16 days a year.
Yeah.
And they made it a big deal about it to say that, no, we're not going to do that. But even just that little issue
You know what
itself,
I love? Let's raise every single flag.
That's right.
And the Australian flag's the highest one. Let's raise the Lebo flag and the Greek flag and the Serbian flag and the Aboriginal. Let's raise every single... Because that's who we are.
Yeah, we're not a cultural nation.
Yeah.
But the Australian flag has to be the highest one. How beautiful would our Harbour Bridge be, lined with all the flags of all the nations?
Yeah.
That's right.
With the Australian flag, the highest one and the biggest
All
one.
year round.
All year round.
That bridge is iconic. And then the world knows it, and then it should be known for the
Why not celebrate who we are?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not celebrate our past?
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
You know?
And you know, I was watching this post about he was a what do they call those? Anyway, it was a guy talking about Merry Christmas, all the holidays in religious circles, and he was saying no other religion changes their celebration. No one says changes Happy Eid or anything like that. Why are we attacking the Christian one? You know what I mean? It should be that we respect all each other's.
But who's attacking?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's this invisible force.
Yeah.
Where
It's not the Muslims.
No,
No way.
It's not the Muslims that are
exactly.
right. In fact, I love Eid. As a Christian man, I love the Muslim Ramadan and Eid. You know why?
Because the food.
The Muslims piss me off. All my mates, the Muslims, piss me off. I go, why do you make the good food only at this time?
Yeah, that's right.
Why can't you make the good sweets and all that?
The
Because
sweets
they're
and that,
artists. They're absolute artists. So when the Ramadan comes round, mate, I'm ringing them up. Hey, has your mum made the stuff yet, bro? No, tomorrow. I'm not coming around till you make it, man. I don't care. I'm not coming around to wish you happy Eid until your mum makes that stuff. It's these people that don't believe in anything. It's as simple as that.
They have. I think it's an agenda.
It's not about religion or political views or whatever. It's people, and we celebrate with
You know
each
what?
other. You know?
If you don't believe in anything, I mean anything, I'm going to wish them happy trees.
Happy trees.
Happy trees.
Treesmas.
But I think at one point there was, we were talking about this earlier, Romeo, with Clover Moore a couple of years back. She took down the festive decorations, the Christmas tree
in the city and that.
The city.
Really?
Yeah, no, they changed it from Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays because people were getting offended. But now that they're backtracking now.
You know when they say people are getting offended, who?
People
them?
who aren't Christian, or people who don't believe in
Yeah, but
Christmas.
mate, there's like a Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
That's one of their.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's
that's bro. The food that happens on those.
You can.
In Chinatown, come on.
You can't stop the Chinese from celebrating their New Year because Star City Casino will go broke.
Exactly.
Because,
But and that's funny thing you bring that up about Star City because when the lockout laws came on, and the perimeter. With lockout
Barangaroo
laws,
doesn't have any lockout laws.
Barangaroo, Star City, no lockout laws. Why?
Because it's the money, 100%.
That's what it is. So that just tells
but
you
which,
in itself.
okay. If it's going in the economy and it's helping the economy and it's building our country, fine. But what I don't get is that you're trying to stop the holidays. Why are you starting?
Eddie, I want to touch on something. There is no such thing as being murdered by a drunk man. Any Lebanese kid, any WOG kid, simple as that. And what's his name? The one that I can't use the word WOG. I don't care. Sue me. Right? Any kid, Aussie kid, WOG kid, whatever. When we were growing up, we used to get pissed. You ever seen a drunk bloke land a punch? You ever seen two blokes, two pissed guys punching on?
Yeah.
They end up on the floor rolling in the vomit. That's the truth. It's a cover-up on the ice epidemic.
That's right.
Because when coppers tell you it took 10 of us to get some guy on ice down to the ground, I guarantee you his punch's going to kill you. He's going to kill you, that punch.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to control the ice. So let's blame. So now we have the King's Cross that's big, that was renowned throughout the world. It's a dump. It's dead.
And every major city has a red light district.
Right,
has
it's
that
dead.
type of district,
We've all known King's Cross, what it's about. But ask any tourist that came to Australia, where do you want to go in Sydney? King's Cross. So every area, every city in Sydney has their red light district. In Australia has their Melbourne, Brisbane, Western Australia, Perth, Adelaide. They've all got their red light. But no, and it's dead. We've sent restaurateurs, they've gone bankrupt, lost their homes. The waiters lost their jobs. The chef lost their jobs. Why? Because you fucking imbeciles don't know how to combat ice, so you want to blame another form.
Justin Hems, who owns Establishment, Ivy, all those major, I think it's the Maryvale Group, and he was in court the other month, fighting, pleading, saying, look, not only wrecking my business, but it's the way of life of Sydney. Sydney got rated one of the most boring cities in the world. Yeah. It's terrible. There's no life on the street, nothing.
See, another rating that also was in the news recently, which I wanted to talk about, was the, which didn't surprise me.
Is this a strong table?
Yeah, there's a window. There's a window where you can throw. Yeah. It got rated maybe one of the worst education systems in the world in 3 years. 3 years, it's been going down, further down.
Yes.
What's happening?
Well,
it's obvious.
I think there's so many fronts that ScoMo needs to hit, and his party, whatever, not just him, his party, education minister, whoever they are.
Bro, if you got hit by a bus, you still wouldn't know what to do.
But actually
all right.
Directly
what's happened?
Tackle these issues.
We've been manipulated into this transgender. My son wants to wear a dress because he thinks he's a girl. I've got my daughter that told me a story that she fell asleep in class because they made her lie on the floor and put a pebble on her head. What's this shit? I send my daughter, I send all my children to school to learn how to read, write, maths, science, English, you name, all that kind of stuff. Not to lie on the floor and put a black pebble on her head, or to ask a little kid, do you want to do a pippy standing up or do you want to do a pippy sitting down? These are children. This is a form of child abuse and child manipulation. This is what pedophiles do to children. This is grooming. And we have to stand there and be quiet and accept it. Well, no more. Go and look at what you got to do to make my child smarter, not 3 years behind. We're dopes.
And there's nothing wrong with looking at precedents and look at cities, other cities that are successful. One of the high-rated cities for education is Finland, Austria. These countries, Finland actually, a few years back, they had free education to internationals as well to do a master's degree if you had a bachelor's, right? Then they realised that people were taking advantage of it, so they backtracked. And now Finland's for themselves. They restructured the whole education system. So now they're teaching kids.
Oh, so you have a government that cares about its country. Wow.
It's a social democratic government, which means the people are first. Yeah. That's it. They restructured their education system.
Well, that's what we're supposed to be.
That's right. So you learn how to do all the basic needs, how to cook, how to clean yourself, all that, how to build that with timber, life
skills.
Life skills. Maybe and then you learn mathematics and language and all that.
But maybe we're not looking at the bigger picture. Maybe it's a big plan. Maybe they may not educating the kids so that when they grow up, they just believe
zombies.
Yeah, they just believe in anything. Like now, we're questioning about climate change, and what are they really saying and what's the sinister agenda behind it? Maybe the next generation will come through, they'll just say anything. 1984, right? Big Brother.
That's right.
We just say anything on the screen is everywhere because the screen's going to be everywhere.
That's right. It is
Climate
everywhere
change
now.
real, and everyone has to say, if you go out of line, then you're cut off.
It is everywhere. Like your iPhone's a billboard.
Yeah, that's
Eddie,
right.
You know?
My dad once said to me, he goes to me, look at my hand. And he waved his hand, right? That's what he did. He goes, what's my other hand doing? I couldn't see his other hand. That's what this government's doing. Yeah. They're waving their hand while they're doing something down there. You can't see the other hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Well, it's time now for me to say to the Australian government, put your motherfucking hands on the table. I want to see both of them.
Hands.
That's right.
That's what you have to do in the casino.
Right?
But there's all these issues, Romeo.
You have to.
There's a lot of issues.
This is what they're doing now. Our children now are turning into zombies.
There's so many different things to look at.
So, no self-thinkers.
Right? No. They want them to be, yes, sir, 3 bags full, sir.
Yeah.
Right? And if they find a parent that stands up and said no, they'll fight you. You'll get the cops called on you. If you stand up and tell the principal of a school, I don't believe, they'll call the cops on you.
That's right. And that's that. If anyone out there that wants to watch what's coming up in the near future, watch 1984. George Oswell. It was a book, and they put it into a movie. Go read the book. Even that was a good one as well.
1982. My 2 sisters. Right. Actually, 1984. Marianne was 2. Julie. Right. They go to me. We want to have some fun with you. I said, what do you guys want to do? They go, can you wear a dress and we can put makeup on and we'll get 2 oranges and you'll have boobs. So we did it.
This kid's having fun.
I love my sisters. My father walks in, looks at me and said, what the fuck's wrong with you?
That's right. Innocent fun.
But now they want the parents to say, is that who you are?
Yeah, that's what Ricky.
Is that what you want to be?
Yeah,
And give suggestions. Yeah.
Listen, son. Go pull out the oranges and cut them up so I can have some. Take off that dress. Right? You've had enough fun. We've lost this political correctness bullshit. Ask a 5-year-old kid if he's, are you a fire engine? Yeah. Can you fly? Yeah. Come on, they're children.
Look, if you go to Lebanon, right? If you go to Lebanon, you know, that's your background, our background. You know, it's compulsory to learn English, Arabic, and French automatically.
Yeah.
That there just gives you opportunity now to go to anywhere in the world and find employment or to talk to people. You know, and we've got one of the highest success rates. The Lebanese population is one of the highest, highly educated countries in the world.
Bro, I've got 4 cousins that are doctors.
There you go.
And it seems so easy. They like the way they just get the engineering. They into like business, finance. Like everyone's on a higher level.
Education overseas, especially in the Middle Eastern countries.
There's value. They value it.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
Well, that moves you in life. That gives you the next step to go where you open doors for yourself.
Here they just give you basics just to say talk and how to plus and how to go to the milk bar and buy some bread, and that's it. Because what that does, it can control you. You know, look, people don't do the extra research. Like we talked about this last time about the Aboriginal genocide. We don't know nothing about that. And that's our fucking history. You know, we don't know anything about that
because they don't want us to know.
You got to know about the Greek history, but man,
you know,
Italian history.
If you ever did high school in Sydney and you selected modern history or ancient history, they'll give you 3 options. I think you learn Greek. If you did ancient history, you learn the Greek history or Roman.
That's it.
Roman history or Mesopotamia. If you did modern history, you learn the English. The British side, the French side, but you never learn the German side. I'm not saying that the German side's good, but you need to understand both sides.
Why the war happened, how it happened.
To understand what's going on. It's like religion as well.
I was told once that the winner of a war decides what history.
The winners write the history,
I think
on that point, let's go to a break. I'm going to play Talking Heads Once in a Lifetime. A few more songs. We'll get reconnected. It's currently 7:08.
Eddie, when are you going to play George?
I just played him just then. Wham.
Where was it? Oh,
you were here, remember?
Was it last Christmas?
It was last Christmas. I'll play again.
I just want to think of Mrs. Robinson on Year 5.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Mrs. Robinson. You know what? We'll play it again for you, Romeo, just because it's Christmas time. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. You're listening to Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. Remember that number, 9550-9552. Call in when the songs are happening so we don't disturb the interview. Also, check out radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Also, check out Romeo Georges at Facebook and Instagram. Just type in Romeo Georges. He has a picture of himself with his son in his shoulder. And
Yeah, my son's a handsome bloke. I'm the ugly one in the picture.
He takes after you, man. What are you talking about?
No, mate, he takes after his mum.
Shout out
Takes after his mum, thank God.
Shout out to the Georges family out there. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for following the page. Thank you for supporting your husband, to give him that smile on his face. Shout out to Mrs. Georges. She's giving me that smile to keep
She's
going.
my world, mate.
But they say behind every great man is a great woman. So shout out to her.
Mate, I wish every single bloke that finds a woman on this earth can find somebody just like mine, because, mate, nothing like a good woman that can pick you up when you're down. Yeah. Never judges you. But I want to bring a special mention out to as well. Like, I got a lot of wonderful. I hate that word followers.
Yeah,
I think it's been designed, right? I hate it.
To certain things.
So if I want to change it to friends and family.
Well, LinkedIn has connect.
Yeah.
Instead of follow. So they say connect with each
other.
other.
Oh, that's good. So I'm going to use it from now on.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. So every single person who's connected with me on Facebook and Instagram, I love you all. The support is outstanding. I'd like to bring mention to two people in particular that I met through these Facebook and Instagram. That's Amelia and Sarah. Amelia was actually the person that put me onto this.
Amelia,
yeah.
Shout out to Amelia.
She put me onto the Facebook and all this kind of stuff. Before, it was just me mucking around with my mates, and it stumbled across her. And then all of a sudden, I got this blue-eyed bombshell of a woman, both in looks and in personality. She's got a wonderful husband called Nick. She's just, God help you if you say one bad word about me on Facebook. She will tear you. And then I just thought to myself, she must be a grumpy old woman who's taking care of her son. And then I saw the picture of her, and I just went, Jesus Christ.
She's protecting me.
She's got, like, seriously, I couldn't get over her eyes. And then I met her in person. Her and her husband came over and we had a lovely time together. What decent human beings. She actually raised thousands of dollars to get to be sent down south. After she saw what I did, just took it upon herself.
Is that the one that said
Sarah Levy?
Is that the one that said if you get famous, you get a crazy liver and
yeah. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
There's so many people. On a personal note, I've got great support by my closest friends, Tony Salmon, Steve Olazzi.
Yeah, I see them on the video. Shout out to you guys, man.
Danny Tarabay, they're the two guys. You know, Danny Tarabay's Gilligan. Yeah, he's the guy with the white hat that came out. Yeah. You know, Robert Curry. And a woman who adopted me as her brother, I absolutely love her. That's Eliane. They've always got positive messages.
And also your mate, Joseph Gabriel.
What can I tell you about Joseph?
The things that I hear about him is it sounds like a living legend. So what does he do?
Gabriel is a kid that grew up basically the same as I did. Rough, blessed by his parents like I was. And he started up, he's a carpenter. Now, Gabriel's sending out 20 boxes of G Energy. Why? Because G Energy, and this is not a promotion, this is the truth. G Energy is 50% less sugar, so it's good for diabetics. And I rang him up just like this. Joe, I need your help. He goes, what can I do, bro? I go, I need some G Energy sent down to the fireys. Some of them have diabetes. He goes, I got 20 boxes in the shed, in the garage.
Take them, yeah.
Somebody else wanted that order. He cancelled that order and said he's taking them down either today or tomorrow.
Shout out to you, Joseph.
Right? Joe, I love you, bro.
Yeah,
you're an absolute champion.
That's another thing we don't talk that's not said on the news is that some of the firefighters are diabetics and they also need lollies and stuff like that to keep the sugar up.
That's right. Sarah taking care of that.
Can you tell us? How long is the shifts that they're doing? Is 12-hour shifts with us and each firefighter as well?
Yep, 12-hour shifts. I was told 12-hour shifts, and they come back and they're just devastated. Like they're absolutely gone.
So everyone that's listening, I just really want you to sit down, even after this session, and just really think about what these guys are doing.
And I must emphasise, Eddie, that they're volunteers. I know some of there's paid firefighters and there's volunteers. What's getting me upset is the government is taking advantage of this word volunteers. Okay, I'm hearing people saying that we need to donate money so we can buy hoses. Hold on a minute. Nobody donate any money. This is the government's responsibility to provide the necessities to
You re-
fight a fire.
This is why we pay tax.
I will donate water, lollies, wipes, eye drops, blankets and pillows. I will donate all this stuff. I will help to try and get it to the volunteers. But one, the volunteers don't get paid, right? And if the government is abusing us, telling us the people will volunteer, they volunteer from their heart. They're giving everything they've got. But for us to donate money so they can go buy hoses, excuse me, that's your job,
We already gave him the money.
right?
But
The government must supply this.
But even you going down there giving water, that's a beautiful act, selfless act. One selfless act can spark another. Yeah. But it shouldn't even get to that. Like, we shouldn't even get to that point. These issues with bushfires.
The government
That's
knows.
what I mean. Like,
They know. They know. It's
They know the
know
heart
this.
of an Australian and they abuse
exactly.
us.
They know this.
They know that once
Right.
you call someone for help, the Aussie man donates.
Straight away.
Men and women, what I'm saying, anyone, even the
Right.
kids.
But if you do donate,
It's
guys,
mateship. That's what
if you
mateship
do
is, you know?
donate, please, research who you donate your money to.
That's right.
Okay, that's what I've done. That's why I've teed up with Anita and Beef It Up Australia. Not one single person, as I said in my other one, gets money. They volunteer this charity, Australian Horizon Group. No one gets any money.
But isn't this the reason why we have
And I'm
taxes?
sick and tired of seeing other charity groups that are supposed to be representing farmers and all this and raising so much money. I guarantee you that money is not all of it is getting to the farmers.
percentage, of course.
Yeah, it's a
Okay?
percentage, yeah.
But when you look up Horizon,
Horizon
Australian Horizon Group,
and
okay?
Beef It Up.
Beef It Up, that's a subsidiary.
Yeah, Beef
Okay?
It Up Australia.
1,000 paddocks. Not only one single one person gets money, the bookkeeper. Why? Because they can't afford to get somebody that's inexperienced because they get audited so much. The rest of the money, 100% of the money raised goes towards, tell me which other charitable group in Australia that represents the agriculture community, the firefighters, okay,
Just don't
gives
understand
100%
why-
of the money.
Don't understand what has to go to charity. Why can't, like, we have taxes
Yeah,
in
don't we
place.
have that? Don't we
to-
have something
to-
reserved for that sort of stuff?
Yeah, like for
or
that
aren't we
type of
meant to?
you know?
Well, you know,
Knowing that.
our Australian government looks at our neighbours as we're their charity. We need to help them.
the
Okay,
government.
Why are we giving $500 million to
to
Indonesia?
foreign,
Is it
yeah, to
Yeah.
foreign straw.
foreign aid? Why?
Yeah.
Why? So we can look good. Fuck, looking
Yeah.
good.
But no-
I don't give a shit if
but-
I look good.
That gets released in about 24 hours. That money as well.
Oh yeah, but we got red tape to
Yeah.
get through.
We have to be careful. You know,
Yeah.
but I don't understand that. And it's happening. It's not something we're saving for the future. The fire is happening right now.
Stop all foreign aid immediately.
Yeah.
Every time you want to help.
But where's the foreigners that are
But
donating to us for
no,
the
but
fire?
they're buying tanks and they're buying ammunition and they're
this is
building up their
only-
army.
But this is only a reactive solution. If we were proactive and put our money where it's supposed to go and had a manageable system, a logic system, we wouldn't be talking
in
about
this place, yeah.
Okay.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's look at
if
this.
we were logic.
In a warfare mentality. Let's look at this in a warfare mentality. You're fighting a battle on two fronts. One battle is calming down. You're in control of it. What do you do with your reserve men? Where do you send them? To the other side. This is exactly how we need to treat every single situation in
Exactly.
Australia. If our country is doing fine, help everyone. Not a problem. But the second we are in danger, all resources are directed straight to the source of the danger.
That's right.
Everyone else can say, fucking wait.
That's right.
According to what the problem
But
is.
also, we know we get bushfires every year.
Yes, it's
So-
that's the thing.
so it
It's
should be-
100. It's in our history.
It's guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's guaranteed. So we should be having this sustainable.
And I'm
system.
sick and tired of this politician. Well, we can't do that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
there's procedures we need to follow.
They only deal with the situation when it comes up. you
That's
know?
why I love Donald Trump.
There
There
is-
is no procedure you must follow. You follow my word. That's simple as that. I'm the president. I decide what we do. And I love that.
You can't say that, Romeo. You can't say you're like Donald Trump these days. You know. What happened with you on the internet when you
Oh,
said
straight
that?
away I'm getting, he kills babies. What babies does he kill? Yeah, seriously, when I put a point out, if you're doing ice, don't comment.
Or any
Okay.
drug, yeah.
But how about the?
I know that I'm entertaining, but if you're doing ice and watching my Facebook page, don't comment. Because some of the comments that I get when I'm trying to emphasize a fact about what this man has done for the United States of America is outstanding. They hit me back with, he kills babies.
It's just something they heard on CNN, man. I swear. I get it all. It's like you know, as a person receiving it, you know the lines they're going to come up with. If you hit them on one point, you know the next line they're going to come
Because they take a piece of information, they misconstrued it, and they regurgitate it to sound qualified.
It's a script now. It's a script. It's a script.
That's what it is.
I did a post about it. I did a free live video before coming in here. You know, whether you like the man or not,
there's good and bad.
Judge him upon his actions.
That's right, exactly.
He took a broke nation in debt. They weren't even paying their... Train drivers weren't getting paid. Every single government job, garbage collectors, no one was getting paid.
Even the UN people that the Americans are protecting are not getting their percentage.
It's corruption, man.
And he just pulled up the Canadian Prime Minister about it. He said to him, each one owns a 2% they have to pay to the defense for America to help them out.
That's peanuts.
I know, but listen to this. He put him on the spot in front of everyone. He goes, how much do you own to Trudeau? He goes, how much do you own? You owe us. How much do you owe us? So how much are you up to? He goes, 1.5. He goes, nah, man, I think it's 1.3. So he embarrassed him in front of the whole world. So they know what the news did? Instead of saying that Canada owes America 2% of profits to go to the defense force of America, they turn around and goes, he embarrassed the leader of Canada in front of everybody.
Who cares?
Bro, they've been robbing it.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing. They're diverting.
Even though the Canadian leader is a good-looking bloke.
Yeah, but they divert the issue. That's what they always do.
But seriously, who cares?
Yeah, that's right.
Who cares if you insult the leader of a nation? Who gives a rat's ass? Who is he? Elected by the people, for the people. Right? At the end of the day, when he's out, he's out. I'm sick and tired of everybody. Like, I'll get people telling me, Romeo, be careful.
Yeah, that's right.
Romeo, be careful. Who am I going to be careful of?
Right.
I don't give a shit. Come for me. Right. As soon as your term is over, you go back to being no one.
That's right.
I have not broken the tax laws. I have not broken any laws whatsoever. I am an Australian citizen with a loud voice, and I'm going to use it. If I'm going to be scared of anybody, get stuffed. I'm not going to. Who are you?
Right. But being scared is almost to the point it censors yourself.
Well, that's right.
You censor yourself.
Too many people are scared, and I refuse to be scared.
You know what they're scared of, but is the rebuttal. And what I want to tell the people is that don't be scared to get rebutted back or argument back. If that person's right, then you have to change. It's about going with the truth.
That's what Donald Trump, I love about him.
People get scared of that.
Bad luck.
You know why? Because it's nationalistic approach.
And tribal as well in the human essence,
And the only time...
If you're scared, leave a light on.
If you look back in history, anyone that had a nationalist approach or like this dictator approach, like Napoleon, for example.
Napoleon,
right? But people think it's a negative thing, it's a bad thing, you know, he put people in the scum. But there's good things too, he's done.
Look, as a leader, if you're going to, like Napoleon Bonaparte, he led his nation into war. Donald Trump has not led his nation into war. He's actually come out and said, I'm pulling out troops. And he's getting bagged for it. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
But on another note, with Napoleon, he actually knocked down Paris because it had no sewer system.
Yeah.
He saw what London was doing and rebuilt Paris within 20 years. And there was peace for 20 years. It's called the Belle Epoque.
If Napoleon had never lost the war against Russia,
yeah.
History would have told a different story.
Yeah.
He would have been out to be a great man.
And Paris is the most visited city in the world. Yeah. And even it was built on nationalism.
Don't you love the French?
You know?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I love how they speak. I wish I was French. Like everything. Like I look at my Arabic language. Like seriously, it's getting off track, but I had to. I've always admired the French. Like mon amour. You know? That's like, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, je t'aime. You know, my love, mon amour, my love. Mon amour. You know? But look at the Lebas. Public.
No, but the word is the way whoever says it.
But,
if you say it like that, of course it's going to
All right, let's have a look. What about pumpkin? Even in the Australian language, pumpkin sounds great. It sounds beautiful, pumpkin.
Yeah.
You know what it's called in Arabic? Bouslant. Like seriously, man.
But like that, of course it's going to like that. You know, like you idiot, of course it's going to sound bad when you say it like that.
But I just got...
How do you say watermelon?
Listen, the alphabet comes from Phoenicia, which is the ancient Lebanese. You
With all
understand?
due respect, I know that we're one of the oldest language,
but
but
I'm
seriously,
saying-
when I want to romance my wife and when I want to,
Yeah,
I
you say
to
"Tokburni Albi."
what?
If you Yeah, if you say it like that, of course, like control your mouth. Tokburni, all right, it's gonna.
Even
sound
telling her, "Come here, my heart," you know,
Tokburni.
"Taya Albi."
Yeah, Albi,
It's like,
yeah, Albi, Tohan. If you say it like that,
All right,
let's try this.
listen.
"Taya Albi." You sound like a
That
pedophile.
sounds sleazy. I agree.
Gonna sound like
that sounds
Antonio
sleazy.
Banderas.
No,
Stand-
I think the
get-
English language and the French language, with all due respect, my background, but
But
the
no,
English
it's a
and the
development of languages.
Oh, listen,
over time.
I like it harsh. That's why I like it rough. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like.
You're from Charlie, bro.
I like it rough. I like to say yo Tohan. But
You know?
anyway.
Point actually.
No, God, we got so far off the point. But yeah,
Talking about wives, but we're talking about wives, talking about family, talking about love. There was a ScoMo's wife taking pictures out of at the holiday, and you brought up a point that's, bro, like, all right, you went on holiday, but now you're gloating.
gloating, yeah.
Now you're rubbing it in the faces
Yeah.
of the people.
They are so disconnected. Look, if everything was fine, good on him, man. But everything isn't fine.
But it could have been fine if they thought about
Yeah.
this before bushfires came along.
And he's going,
Could have
oh, we thought about this 6 or 7 weeks. Make up your mind.
Since September. we've had
No, he's
bushfires.
trying to.
Yeah.
He tried to equate it with the same as a plumber.
Yeah, that's
Come
right.
on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, what are you talking? There's an actual event.
And it wasn't even a well thought out analogy. It wasn't even well thought out.
He
had
even
the
said
time
it.
pauses as well.
My message to ScoMo is, look, if I can help you, okay, Habibi, I can help you.
Come on.
Right? I can help you. I can write your speeches. I can teach you how to be a decent, loving Australian. Right? I can actually save you from the demise that's
But mate, we had
that's going to happen.
we had Remembrance Day in November. We had Anzac Day back in April.
Yeah.
We talk about mateship.
Yeah.
We talk about sticking by each other's side. We talk about all that. And he should have been the first person, an opportunity for him to show that he loves us as Australians and he's a leader.
No,
And a true-
all he loves is, his
But
holidays.
who was his
I have not
advisor?
seen a prime minister go on so many holidays, and he tries to justify it by, I had to take this holiday because I like stop with the ums,
It's the smoke,
Right.
man. That smoke.
right? Because I got to get back and I got to go to India.
Let me ask you this, Romeo. Who, since you've been an Australian citizen, you're born
Yeah.
here. Who have you seen that has come close to a really great prime minister who's done really good for Australia?
I think John Howard has to be my most favourite prime minister, because he looked like before he spoke, he thought about what he had to say, and his decisions, even the GST, was it helped Australia, right? It did, because like all the lebos, instead of giving out, I'm just saying
jobs.
because they go, look, I cut GST for you, okay, I cut GST, and that's. But in true sense of the word, the man was a forward thinker. Okay, he came up with the Murray Basin Plan. He introduced the GST. Tony Abbott, I think, tried his best, but he trusted too many. John Howard trusted no one.
Yeah, but with John Howard, on one point there, he promised the Australian public that if I put GST on, I'll abolish every other tax.
Yeah.
So there was, this is why he got, this is one of the reasons why he was voted out,
Yeah,
and which in the plan itself, having GST and getting every other tax makes sense.
the only thing that upsets me about John Howard is, and I'll call it the way I see it, is the last election that he lost. I believed with all my heart that he wanted to lose, and he went out of his way to
Not go.
introduce policies that were going to destroy him. And I think Costello.
He promised Costello, didn't he?
I think Costello. If we're going to be honest, I think Costello was devastated by what
Of
John
course.
did.
Oh, of course.
But with that said, I think he's the longest serving prime minister.
Yeah, John Howard. Yeah.
John Howard.
And I think Menzies as well at one
Yeah.
point.
Right? And they were two great men, Menzies, Howard. But I think Tony Abbott trusted too many guys. He trusted, and I don't know why he trusted Malcolm Turnbull. If I saw that bloke in an alley, I'd shit myself. Like Malcolm Turnbull, seeing him in the light, that prick's shifty. He's as shifty as anything. And him taking pictures with Scott Morrison. You know, I'm going to tell you something. My father once said to me, and I know he's my dad, but he's my greatest advisor I've ever had. He said to me, Dad, a man can make $10 million honestly through hard work and dedication. The next million after that, either he's done something, inside trading, a deal done on the side. Because that's business. And I looked up, and true. You see these guys that are worth billions of dollars, and you read about what they've done, and you go, that's just not morally right. But what's morally right and what business is two different things. You never use your morals if you want to be that powerful.
Yeah, but where do these morals come from? Education. We talked about religion with the last time you came in, and it creates a moral compass.
Religion and morals and money don't go together.
Yeah, but it creates a moral. You need to have a moral compass.
You need to say goodbye to your morals if you want to get into that.
Yeah, but in business there's a thing called ethics.
That's right.
Isn't there?
That's right.
Isn't there? As people just forgot that?
It's well documented.
There's ethics in business that we're supposed to. I don't think anyone.
Where we live in 1955, boys.
No, but I'm saying, well, man, listen, it's not that it's not possible, because my father, he's a plumber, own business, does residential places, and praise God that he's always had work. He's always been.
That's right, because he's an honest man.
That's right.
And he's got his.
But I don't mean to pry into your financials, but is your dad worth $1 billion?
No, but what I'm trying to say, he didn't sneak his way to get what he needed to do.
That's right.
Takes
So,
what he.
if we can go back to saying, as Australians that I am comfortable, I'm financially comfortable and secure.
Content,
I've paid right. That's when ethics, morals step back into it. But everybody now, well, not that's a harsh call. But you'll find a lot of businesses are built on cutthroat. They'll do you the raw. Banks are renowned for it. I mean, let's go into the banking sector. Why would you give a mortgage to a 67-year-old retired woman? How is she going to repay that mortgage? Exactly. You know?
It takes 30, 40 years to...
Do you really want... Like, what's that woman supposed to do to make extra money?
People are in housing stress. You know, people are paying 80% of their income are just going to rent. You know, the ideal rate is 24 to 30%. That's ideally what we can afford. Anything over 30% of your income going to housing, mate, you're going to be struggling to put food on the table. You know, especially for a low income earner, and the majority of Australians are low income earners. Because you know, you've got nurses, police officers. They're earning what, $55,000 a year. You know, around that. You know,
but not 100,000. Like that.
Under stress, everyone is under stress.
I think nurses,
under stress,
police officers, and I've said this before,
firefighters,
base rate,
doctors,
$100,000.
$100,000, yeah.
You know.
All right, guys, let me play one more. I wanted to play this song during your segment.
Yeah.
It's called True Blue by John Williamson.
Yeah.
And this sums up the whole of Australia and what it was all about. Yeah. And I played this one only.
I hope ScoMo gets the message. He probably thinks True Blue is the colour of the ocean in Hawaii.
Or of his shirt or something. Yeah. He was wearing a blue shirt, wasn't he? Sitting in Hawaii, that picture. Anyway, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. I'm going to play this one song and then we'll come back and we'll finish it up. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. This is Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to The Good Smoke. Remember, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Romeo's coming in. He's just stuck outside. He forgot to leave the door open, but he's coming in right now. Guys, remember, check out beefitupaustralia.org and also Australian Horizon, you know, and there you can donate money. Also, check out also the food pantry with Paula. You can go to Romeo Georges' Facebook. Go check it out there, and he's got all the links to people that he's trying to help out, and he's got all his posts up there. Yeah, Romeo, we're gonna sign out. We've got about 15 minutes left.
Yep.
Want to cut it off?
It's been awesome,
man. I wanted this to be more informative, more into details about stuff. I wanted to get the heart of it as well. Just to sum it up, I know what we're really calling for is not that we hate the government. We don't like corrupt government. Government's fine. Government, the way it's run, less government is better, and more efficient government is better. But one story you did say, which I believe will sum you up a bit, is about your grandfather throwing you in the air and teaching you about where he came from and him serving an army back home when he came from. Share that story with us, and then the leader of this country, if he's listening, he can understand that family is important, and this is instilled in you. It's not something that you just...
It's who I am.
Yeah.
It's who I am. All my friends for a very long time, especially Mr. Robert Curry, thinks I'm a psychopathic lunatic. But it's who I am, and I love him to death. He's, you know. My grandfather was a member of the... and this has nothing to do with against any religion. He was a member of the Christian Lebanese Forces. Number 27. An original. And when my grandfather was alive, the love that I felt in the family and the unity was outstanding. It's just outstanding. And I don't care. I say it openly. I was his favourite, except for my cousin Peter. He loved him too. And he would throw me up in the air, and he'd tell me, "Who do you love?" And I'd laugh and giggle, and you get that feeling when your gut gets up into your chest. And I'd say I love God, the family, and the country. And that was the Christian Lebanese Forces motto. Now, growing up and joining the Defence Force, the reserves, and starting to see, because of my travels to Lebanon and that, how beautiful Australia is. I fell in love with Australia.
The landscape, you're saying, or the people?
The life. Growing up, the life that we had. Houses weren't expensive. Families spent a lot of time together because they worked, but there was a lot of family time. I remember picnics at Kernell. That was a must. If my grandfather said we're going on a picnic and my father or mother said no, mate, it was World War III. There was no ifs or buts about it. My grandfather was a leader, and he instilled that in me, And I just transferred that over to the love of Australia because this country has given me so much. Education, home, beautiful family. But I want my children to grow up in the Australia that I grew up. Political correctness is bullshit, right? Let kids be kids, right? The government is too involved in the family now. They want to divide the family. Now, all I'm saying to ScoMo is, I'll keep bagging you out until we want a leader. We need a leader. Somebody who's not scared to call a spade. Somebody who doesn't want to kiss ass and not offend anyone. You offend who you have to offend. As long as you're doing it to defend your people. And we are your people. You're elected. We had to vote for you. I said it before. We voted hoping for an angel, and I think that we've received the devil. And prove me wrong. I'm begging you to prove me wrong. I hate to be proven wrong. But when it comes to ScoMo, prove me wrong. Make me look out to be an absolute idiot. I will accept it with both hands, open arm, as long as I see my brothers and sisters, the Australian people, prosperous and happy. Stop meddling in the family. Right? But I've received stories about children that call the police on their parents because they got a whack on the ass.
Or Phoebe, the one that tried to give her friend some Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And she got
that broke my heart. That infuriated me. How dare you tell a child you're going to offend? Who are you offending? She was giving Christmas cards to her friends. A beautiful gift that we used to do at school. Dad used to have to go buy 100 postcards for me.
That's right.
He'd go to the $2 shop so I can give my friends a Christmas card. And I gave it to my Muslim friends, and I gave it to my Jew friends, and I gave it to my Buddha friends. I gave it to every single kid I had in my class. I didn't care, right? It's the thought. The card represents love and respect. But no, you're offending. You know what? If Phoebe doesn't want to give a person in her class a Christmas card, maybe she doesn't like that person. Oh, we don't want to hurt their feelings. It's like football. You get a trophy for participation. There are losers and winners on this earth. You must learn. How do you get better if you're always winning? How do you always, good on you for trying. Yes, good on you for trying. Try harder.
Try again, get up, yeah.
But no, the government, no, we're offending who are we offending? Some principal or teacher decides that, it's not right. Maybe that kid in the corner that got no Christmas card is a little prick that teases everyone and bullies everyone. What? He's going to get offended. Maybe his parents can raise him properly to not pick on children or try to be nicer. Phoebe looks like a wonderful little girl with a big heart. Well, if she's anything like her mother, then I guarantee you she's a wonderful little girl with a big heart. Right? But no, we don't want to offend. I'll offend everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
What we need to do is go back to being the Australia of the 70s and 60s and 80s and possibly a little bit of the first of the 90s. But now, too many people that are not qualified, too many people that think they're qualified are sticking their fucking noses into places they shouldn't. And one thing is the family. Nothing wrong with whacking a kid. I'll tell you a story about my dad. I was 13 years old. And this is how I raised my son. He said to me, he sat me down. And I did something bad. I don't know what I did. Broke a window or something. He goes, come here. And I came over. He goes, sit down. He said, Dad, you're 13 years old now. For me to hit you, it's an embarrassment on myself. And it's an acknowledgement that I'm failing you as a father. If you don't know your actions are right or wrong at the age of 13, I have failed as a man and I have failed as a father. Now, the age of 13 is when we reach teenager, puberty kicks in. So we're starting to develop, our brain is developing, our body is developing. And my father knew this. But as a child, if I stuffed up, I copped a whack. There was nothing wrong with it. He didn't belt my head. He didn't use the back end of a belt buckle. He gave me a good kick up the arse. There's nothing wrong with it.
You didn't get a belt buckle? We got belts, man. We got belts. Wait, bro, we got belts, man.
Bro, I got the baltoof,
and
bro.
we got the stick. What's the baltoof?
The 4x2 timber. But that was from my mother. You know? This thing was the most evil weapon ever created by a human being and put into a fashion designer industry.
How do you know a fire is hot if you don't put your hand in it?
That's
you have
right.
to know. You
have to learn from experience.
You have to be get a smack to say, yep, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how you know for next time.
Guys, it's unfortunately come to 8 o'clock. Let's sign that out. Any last shout outs to anyone?
Shout
Just
out
quickly.
to every single Australian who believes in what I believe. May you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas. May you... How can I say this? You're going to get a lot of presents. And I guarantee you, the presents that you're going to get, 1 million other people have the same present. So I want you to look up and look at the presents that you have around you. You've got one of a kind in a wife, one of a kind in a husband, one of a kind in children, in parents, in mothers and fathers. They are the real presents. Concentrate on those presents that God has given you and reward yourself and celebrate those presents. God bless you all. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Romeo, for coming in. This has been Radio Skid Row. This is Radio Skid Row 88.9 FM. Check out radioskidrow.org, goodsmoke.com.au. This interview is going to be out Thursday, hopefully, because I'll put this one out, the last one out this week, so I'll put them back to back so then you can get the whole view of it. Radio Skid Row 88.9, you've been listening to Good Smoke.